Trying to test the audio now. Oh man. Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
You can hear me? Because I can't, it's not, my audio isn't playing on my computer. I can't hear anything. Test a different video, see if that has sound. Test a different video, see if that has sound. Okay. I think I'm almost there. I feel like it sounds like a robot. I'm gonna try this other audio. Testing. I'm gonna try this other audio. Okay, I'm gonna push pause. So I see Omar Ramirez is in here. Omar, do I sound normal? Because I can't really tell anymore on the cameras anymore. My other computers give me an echo. So there's 10 people in the room. Send some comments out so I know that you're in here. A little late because audio issues. And I saw a lot of people in the room prior, but I had to leave out and come back. Oh, you hear an echo too? Crap. Happy Easter, DD. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, is there still an echo? I hate technical difficulties. Okay, and now it's not even giving me the webcam audio. So, hold on.
Okay, let me try this. I know people are gonna hate this live because I'm trying to fix stuff. So yeah, I just changed another setting. Does it sound any better now? Mm, okay. Let me see. See if I can catch up with myself. Mm, okay. Let me see. See if I can catch up with myself. Okay. I still hear a little bit of an echo. If it's not too bad, come on in and stick with me. Um, Nico's Gamer, thank you for sticking around. 8 subs was a long time ago. We're almost at 28,000. So, yeah, thank you for hanging in there. Yeah, Gwen, it's definitely a better day now that it's starting to warm up. It was cold, and we're gonna be in the 70s and here in Baltimore for like the next 6 days, I think, something like that. Uh, like 5 days. Thursday it starts a trend of rain again. So, oh, thank you, Nikos. Appreciate you. Sorry, sorry about. I hate the cold, so it's like I'm weird. I hate the cold, but I also hate the bugs, and I live in the woods, so I enjoy when it's cold because I don't have to worry about spiders and bees and bugs and everything that comes crawling out the woods. Hey, Ramona and Gwen, thank you for that. That sounding better. So we've got 17 folks in here now. Uh, so throwing out some soap questions and we can get started. And I'm behind on General Hospital, but I am gonna try to put together a coming and goings, which will include Sean Butler um, coming back to the show, which should be interesting. But I feel like with Sean coming back, they're gonna get rid of somebody. I can't imagine they're gonna have Sean, Curtis, Taggart, and TJ. Although TJ is reoccurring. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate you coming here. Well, so far, there's a lot of suspects of somebody who would want to kill Peter, but I mean, we're way too early for predictions like that. That's something. If that happens, I'm not going to say that it's going to happen because sometimes they don't bump a character off. Sometimes they'll just like, who shot the person, and they still, intensive care or something. But far as we know, he's still on the show, according to him. Well, we will find out, Shelly. We will find out who the actual person who did it is. Um, right now, it's come down to two people. I do not like the way the murder mystery was crafted. It was where each week they make people look guilty, and then they say, "Oh yeah, they got alibi. They're not a suspect anymore," and then just systematically saying, "Okay, then now this week we're going to see if Ava did it," and then say, "Nope, she didn't do it." So I would have rather had everybody be a suspect. Maybe a few people, you take out of the running, but we should be like trying to figure out, who did it. I write murder mysteries, so I'm giving this one a side eye because there's no way to really follow it or figure out who did it, especially when each person that they introduce is a red herring as a potential suspect, and then they say, okay, so you know, Ava got there after the fact, or Yeah, Sammy only had residue on her because she was trying to protect Allie by, pulling the trigger again. So, it was, then they didn't even throw Sean and Bell in there. Sean and Bell were on a list of suspects when they showed the commercial for, who could have did it. They didn't even put Sean or Bell in the running for that. Bell looked guilty for like 2 episodes, and then she was back to normal. And people like Claire should have been up to the finish line, looking like a suspect. So I don't really like the way this mystery was written. Sharon continues to sabotage her relationships. Um, I can't even say Sharon continues to sabotage her relationship because when it comes to Ray, when the last writer Mal Young was writing them, he wrote them as people that actually were interested in each other and wanted to be together. Josh Griffin didn't really write for blacks or Latinos. That's why Lola didn't get a storyline after being, just as big of a star as Summer. And now people aren't even writing them like they like each other. So um, they made it way too easy that clearly the end game for Sharon is Adam. It's not like, Chelsea's like out the running now. So, uh, well, I doubt it. Brad Bell said that they were going to bump the kid off, but, and that was like now, probably like a year ago. I don't know if, the situation we got with the epidemic changed anything, but they gave us 6 suspects of who won't make it on Monday, and it's Shauna, Flo, Finn, Thomas, Vinny, and I'm forgetting somebody. Um, I can't remember the sixth person, but of those 6 people, the only one that made sense to me was Flo. In my last Bold and Beautiful video, I broke it down to who it would most likely be, and it came down to Flo. I really can see it being Thomas, but what's her name? Hope is the person who is going to be doing the identifying, and the spoilers make it look like she thinks it's Liam, but we know it's not Liam. He wasn't even in the running for being one of the 6 people that it could have been. So yeah. So the 6 people, the one I missed, I said everybody actually. Thomas, Katie. I think I missed Katie. Thomas, Katie, Vinny, Flo, Shauna, and Finn were the 6 people that they put out there that could have been the person that they're getting rid of on Monday. I don't know if Sharon is gonna bust Chelsea right now. That's just like way too soon. They're really just getting into this. I'm looking forward to the next week when it says, Victor learns about somebody's deception. And, I'm hoping they're talking about Chelsea and not Billy because it's really stupid that Adam hasn't told Victor what's going on. Instead, he contacts Sharon. Um, honestly, I was talking to someone online that were discussing an interview that Maurice Bernard did where he said he likes playing Mike. It's a change of pace. And so he's not in any rush to go back to playing Sonny. There's a lot of people that want Sonny and Carly back together. But honestly, I haven't been a Sonny and Carly fan as a couple since the early 2000s. Now, when Sonny and Carly, they've been together for years now, and they have been one of the most boring couples. They only really come together in the scene to talk about an issue in the family. They don't go on dates. There's nothing romantic about it. She's not hadn't been scheming or anything to draw him in like she used to. So they really are a very boring couple to watch. They needed to bring Brenda in a long time ago to shake this couple up. And I'm actually shocked that Sonny and Carly stayed married for so long when clearly uh, the show didn't have a real interest in them as a couple. They were married. They said, here you go, Sonny and Carly's married. And then Sonny did his storylines and Carly did her storylines, mostly revolving around Jocelyn or Jason or Jax. Well, I actually felt for Charlie because Mike Manning is a good actor. And I think that if they went a little deeper with it, like, I hate to say it, because I'm the big defender of Ron Carlivati on days because I think he did a great job in General Hospital, One Life to Live, and he was the best writer for days where the other writers, the ratings were dropping and the show was about to get canceled, and he came in and he brought the ratings up, and they go up and down, constantly. But I think that what happened with Allie and the reason why she had a baby and all this kind of stuff, I really think that they should have not done that. I mean, she's not a good actress, so I didn't really feel anything for her in the storyline. She's really not a good actress. She's pretty. She's like, well, I was about to say she's like Flo, but Flo is like horrible. Katrina's a horrible actress. She shows absolutely positively no emotion. Allie shows just a teeny bit of emotion, but she's a nut. She like Katrina. She don't have a lot of facial expressions. So it's gonna be interesting to see her in a love triangle with Trip and whoever this third person is gonna be. We'll find out this week who the third person is gonna be. Um, well, Quinn isn't one of the people that they have on Soap Opera Digest as one of the six people that are gonna get bumped off. But in my latest video on the picture, I have all six people. Rosemary, I don't know who it is. I just, if you watch my video, I give you who is most likely going to be. It really doesn't make sense that Brady is still, he clearly has recovered. It's not like he needs to be with Marlene and John right now. They don't have him in the bed. He's not laid up. He's back at work. He's going out on dates, you know, going to the prison. He's just doing his normal. There's no reason for him to be there. Happy Easter, Cheryl. Thank you very much. I'm gonna ignore that whole lot with shit was Finn because we need Finn on the show right now. Um, well, there was a casting call that went out. I actually saved it because I'm trying to build up my coming and goings. I try to get at least six actors in the coming and goings. But there's a call out for Young and the Restless. They just released a call for a main actor who's white. I think they said mid 30s, and the description sounds exactly like Chance. Period. So I think they're stealth looking for a new Chance, but yeah, that casting call. When I do the video, I'll probably read it to you, and you'll hear it too. That they definitely this is a Chance casting call, and I think they're calling the character like Dante or Dustin or something, or Derek. It starts with a D. Um, I don't know if Ava's a horrible mother. I definitely think she suffered from postpartum depression. They really should have actually sort of went there and leaned in on it. She was also highly medicated and drugged by her father, causing her to have delusions. And they kind of said her father sort of forced her in this relationship she didn't want to be in because, she was all Steve, Steve, Steve. So, she may even felt a little violated, which is where I thought they were going to go, you know, that because of what Charlie did to Allie, I thought they were going to say that, well, that's what her father did to her. Not her father, but Charlie's father did to her. So those would have been, if they went there, it would have made Ava not liking Charlie make a lot more sense, especially if they leaned into postpartum depression, which they only hinted at. Thank you, Gwen. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of actors they love when they've been playing the same character for a long time, like Christian Alfonso. When she got a chance to play Princess Gina again, she was so happy that she didn't have to be Hope, And then she stopped liking being Princess Gina too. Well, they've technically already put Britt with Jason and Sam with Dante. It's just that they know how the fans feel about Jason and Sam. So they're taking their time to try to get you to get used to them being with other people. I've said this over and over again. If you watch scenes with Steve Burton and Kelly Monaco, they clearly aren't feeling each other. Not since he came back from Young and the Restless, and not since what happened with Billy Miller. That's why he was on the show for a year before they even kissed again. So, and even then, that was like cringeworthy. But J Sam fans, they see what they want to see. And as a person who is a producer and a director, and I've had actors where an actress have told me, I know that's supposed to be my husband on the show, but I need you to put me with a different actor because he did this, this, and this. So when I see those scenes with Steve and Kelly, it reminds me of when some of my actors, sometimes it's the guy, sometimes it's the girl, they're like, I can't do it. He may have been harassing her or something for it, you know. So I know from behind the scenes how these things, work out and how actors start looking when they don't like each other. It depends on who it is. If it's Flo, probably. But if it's anybody else, like, mm-mm. If it's who I want it to be, I might do an I told you so video. Um, the new Faith starts April 12th. So you got like a week before we see New Faith. Olivia Allen Lynn, she's going to be on the new Chucky series on Sci Fi Channel. And her mother is actually the star of the show. So there's that. So it's a family affair. It kind of makes it make more sense why she would leave a steady job like Young and the Restless for a show like Chucky, which, depending on how it's written, may be a one and done season because there's two different companies that own the rights to Chucky, which is why the latest Chucky movie that came out, they had to have a different looking doll that looked similar to Chucky, but was still a different doll because somehow two production companies they both own the rights to Chucky. So the ones that own the rights that are more familiar to people, they're gonna go on ahead and do the TV while the other company is doing the movies. So yeah, that's what's there's a lot of things that could go wrong with that Chucky show with two different production companies owning the rights to the same property. Um, well, I forgot the lady's name that played the second Sierra. I mean, Flo is better than her. I mean, she was probably a favor or something to get that job. That had to been like a quid pro quo type situation because that girl could not act. She said she was in acting classes while she was on the show. Why would you get hired for a show like that and still be in acting class? Just saying. But yeah, Lauren, whatever her name was. Yeah, was horrible as Sierra. But Sierra said in the interview she only agreed to 16 episodes. As of March, that was 11 episodes. So I'm gonna see if she extended a little bit or not. But Sierra may only have 5 episodes to go. So I'm guessing, with Ben trying to force the serum and stuff on her, because I don't think the hypnosis would totally work. That maybe she'll leave town or something. But the spoiler said a long time ago she's going to leave town and go see her mother and get treatment. So we may only have 5 episodes of Sierra left, which may carry us 2 weeks, maybe three. Um, Valentine, he's anybody but Nina. He had very good chemistry with Michelle Stafford. He doesn't have any chemistry with Cynthia Waitrose. Um, yeah, I'm curious to see if they're gonna make Nina and Sonny fall in love for real, and then when he get his memories back, he'll be torn between Carly and Nina. I'm wondering if they're gonna even go there, or if he's just gonna get his memories back and be mad like he was with Nell when Nell claimed that they had hooked up, then they didn't. I think the Charlie ship, dad, and all that ship has sailed because they're moving Ava into the love triangle with Ava, Rafe, and Nicole. So once this Charlie thing wraps up, I don't think we'll be hearing anything from the father. Especially since they're bringing EJ back, they got a lot going on. I don't think they're gonna keep going down the Charlie road unless he had a twin. Yes, I agree. Although I did like Chelsea better with Justin Hartley. That was the true Chelsea Adam combination. She and Mark have some chemistry, but the fact that they just want Sharon and Adam together so bad, like they're a super couple. Um, yeah, they're ruining Chelsea. But it'd be fun to see Chelsea take Nick away from Phyllis. Another boring couple. Nick and Phyllis are just as boring as Sonny and Carly. Hell, Victor and Nikki, they're boring as hell too. I really want her to take a drink. So, Faith, this is how you do it. This is how you get drunk. Let the professionals do this. So, well, if you believe that, you ain't watching Bold and Beautiful. Steffi was like a hardcore drug addict for 2 weeks, and then she was in therapy for like one and a half, and that storyline was over. She actually only did it one time, and then they act like she was like this hardcore addict, having her pull knives out on people and whatnot. And then how many times is um like since we've gotten back the shows back on air, they have been expediting these storylines quick and in a hurry. I'm like this mystery that they about to have starting Monday. That should I would give it 2 to 3 weeks at the most before they then moved on to something else in May. Yes, Willow and Michael. Anybody with Michael is boring. I did like him with Sasha. because she was like a Carly type character for him, which made him potentially interesting. But Michael only has chemistry with guys. I've said that for years. It's like he has more chemistry with Chase than any woman on this show. I said that boy got turned out in jail, and they just don't want to say it. Just saying. Um, um, I think the reason why a lot of soap fans refuse to accept change is because they project themselves into these romances. And so, they may see themselves as Sam and they want to be with Jason, you know. For instance, they may want to be the Victor to uh, see themselves as Victor and ride or die Nikki, who's occasionally ride or die. You know, I think people just project themselves into the stories, and that's why they can't accept any kind of shake up because it's ruining their own personal fantasies. So that was my Dr. Phil moment. Okay, I fallen behind on questions. Do you know how will drag the storylines? Yes, they do, especially if the characters are black. Um, yes, I find Michael and Willow boring. I do think Willow is better with Chase. Cheryl, um, see, F.A. Miller just said what I said. People become emotionally invested. Faith is not playing Chucky's wife. Chucky's wife is played by Jennifer Tilly. Um, let me see. This how far back in the comments. Yes, there's so many things that goes on behind the scenes of the shows. I mean, look at all the things that happen in with Ingo and Nancy and Maurice. How messy that got. Um, and I think that Steve looks happier when he's not put in the scenes with Kelly. It kind of reminds me of um, when we had Chad and Abigail on Days of Our Lives, and Kate Manzi didn't want to be on the show long term. She wouldn't sign a contract to be the main Abigail, and you saw Billy Miller looked not Billy Miller, but his name's Billy something. He looked miserable. I kept calling him Zombie Chad. I'm like, is he possessed by Stefano? What's going on? But then Marcy Miller joined the cast, and he was like Chad again. So it was really that's a perfect example of how you saw Billy with Kate as Chad and Abigail, where he looked like a zombie, like he wasn't even present in the scenes. And we thought something was going on in the storyline, that he was doing that on purpose. But no, he didn't want to be in scenes with her. Then we see Marcy come in, and it's like all sorts of love and happiness. And Chad and Abigail are a great couple, and they're always in bed. And it was like night and day. So that's a perfect example of you can tell when actors aren't feeling each other, even though in the past they had amazing chemistry. Um, I would love for Nina to get that miracle pregnancy just to see Carly lose her crap. But who wants another Donna? Most of the time, they don't even remember Donna exists. They don't even have her holding a fake baby or anything. Mm. Thank you, Gwen. Yes, everyone, please hit the thumbs up. Uh, Nisa doesn't like the Nina and Sunny story. Ashlyn Ramona Newson, uh, thank you for being a member. Ramona, he already knows Monday's episode. He asked Kyle point blank, "Are you sleeping with my wife? Did you sleep with my wife?" And then Kyle is looking stupid. So I haven't seen the Tuesday episode yet, but Ashlyn asks him directly on Monday. And then the spoilers for later in the week is Jack and Kyle team up to take down Ashlyn. So I don't know if he says yes or no, but Ashlyn clearly knows. Here's another Britt and Jason. I like Valentine and Anna too. However, thinking long term storylines, I actually like Valentine with Nancy, Alexis. I have a even though they thought they were brother and sisters, but if you like watch One Life to Live, so did Tina and Cord. Not Tina and Cord, Tina and Kane. Tina and Kane thought they were brother and sister, and they still were screwing. Hey Jenny, how are you? Um, let me see, Cyrus. So far, Cyrus has been a long time character on General Hospital. I don't think they're going to do To the Murder Mysteries. I have a feeling if they do one, it'll either be Cyrus or Peter. Uh, right now, every site is reporting with daytime. The story Daytime Confidential broke that there's a new EJ. I can't remember his name. It's a foreign name, but yeah, I did I do my video on the chat? But anyway, yeah, there's a new EJ. So far nobody said April Fool, so hopefully it's true. And we do know EJ is coming to the show. So we're all glad Jenny's doing better and she's recovered. Um, has Ray become annoying, or has just the whole storyline been annoying? I mean, he was poisoned. You're welcome. I agree. Someone just said Michael Willow's like watching paint dry. Patrick TV, you're late, but I got a late start. Um, and he does have chemistry with everyone they throw at him. The big question is, who should he actually pursue? I, I said Alexis, but I can also see him with Brooklyn. That could be very a very fun, chaotic relationship. Um, I I don't know if Sonny gets his memories back and he'll be sympathetic. I think he'll be more sympathetic if he gets the WAP and like it. I actually have not seen the April Fool's episode of Days. I started playing it and then I had something else to do, so I stopped it. But I have seen Friday's episode. I went back to the regular ones. I didn't go back to watch the April Fool's episode because it's not really that important. But I know it's fun. I figured I'd watch it this weekend. Mm. So far, it looks like it's true that Sean Blakemore is coming back to General Hospital. Um, they did say he signed, which means he might have a contract. So we'll see. People still reporting it after April Fool's. So I said I wouldn't report it until after April Fool's Day. Mm. Um, I think that Brooke is similar to Stephanie, but she hasn't really. I haven't seen her actively do something to stop a relationship, like telling Liam, "Go get your wife." That's not being active. Stephanie, from what I've seen, I mean, she had Brooke taken advantage of. You know, so it's like Stephanie was more like Quinn to me. I think Quinn is the Stephanie, and Brooke is still Brooke. Um, mm, mm. Right now, I need to see who Roger Howard comes back as before we start shipping like Elizabeth and Finn. Um, I don't see Elizabeth and Finn as good partners as far as like their storyline. I can't really see them as being a good couple with interesting stories. They can always prove me wrong. Um, Elizabeth and Jason, they've always had good chemistry, but like I said, they are probably going to pair Roger back up. With doesn't matter which character he's playing, but they'll probably pair him back up with Elizabeth as somebody else. Yep. Yeah. There we go, Patrick. Ferrero. I actually pulled up a YouTube video of him in an interview just to see how he pronounces his name. Now I forgot how to properly pronounce it. Devon is being stupid, trying to be a surrogate sperm donor for Abby, and Mariah as the surrogate. Um, I really want that storyline to come to an end quickly. Uh, yeah, Cardi B now has given me the perfect word that everyone knows what it means, but it's technically not dirty when you say WAP. You know, it makes you smile. Yes, Young and Restless is finally improving. Um, the most cringeworthy story, other than Devon, is Amanda and this family stuff that they're trying to do with her. I don't know no black people that act like that. I'm sorry. My mother was the youngest of 11, so a lot of black people, a lot of family, and nothing like what they're writing. Mm-mm. Now, now I don't think we'll get Franco's twin, but I would love Heather Weber to come back. I used to follow Robin Matheson to whatever show she was on. I was there, General Hospital to Santa Barbara, to all my children back to General Hospital. Yeah. Now that is something that Brad Bell has an obsession with. Hope and Liam, Steffi and Liam. I don't know what it is about Liam that Brad thinks that he's so irresistible to women that I don't see it. I'm not. I mean, he's not a bad looking guy or anything like that. I'm just saying that his personality, that wimpy, weak, flip flopping, you know, what is attractive about that? What's attractive about that? You know, it's okay for men to cry, but I mean, Liam cry almost as much as Katie. We know Katie cried just because it's Tuesday. Um, Honestly, I think Taylor returns to the show, but it won't be uh Hunter Tallow. I think Hunter's done, unless she gets. Never mind. Yes, you're a little late. You're a little late, but hopefully you can make it through the me having sound problems on the replay before I got it fixed. Yeah, we can. Yeah. Now, I was saying since the beginning, like there's so many fans that get into this delusional fantasies of what these characters will or won't do. We all watch the same show. Yes, Chad was drinking, but Chad was awake and aware, and he knows exactly what he did with Gwen, and there was no condoms nowhere to be found. So, so I am very sure that people are like, Gwen lied. Gwen and Chad didn't do anything. That was just another one of Gwen's manipulation. No, no, Chad got some, and then he's about to get some baby and some child support. So I knew that most likely this is the only direction this story could go in with Gwen. I was like, they need something. Marcy Miller, she didn't have her baby, so they're like I think 2 months ahead now. So since she didn't already had her baby, we know that her time off for maternity leave is coming up really quickly. So Abigail is going to have a mental breakdown. Jack is about to get Abigail to agree to have a truce with Gwen, but I think this whole baby secret is going to be the thing that sends Abigail to the mental institution. But I also think that it'll be her mother who will be taking care of her off camera uh, while she's because Katie McLean isn't coming back yet, and they haven't announced the other Jennifer, Melissa, coming back. So I think the way they're going to keep Jennifer off camera is by having her with Abigail off camera. So so I think that's why Jennifer is not going to come right back. Um, but yeah, I'm waiting for the actual spoiler to reveal that she's pregnant. But all of those teaser spoilers are definitely pointing to Gwen's going to be pregnant. I'm glad that people are liking Mike and Nina. Because Carly needs a good female adversary. Brenda and Elizabeth and Once Upon a Time Elizabeth were good adversaries for Carly, and her mother Bobby was a good adversary for Carly. But yeah, it's been a long time since there's been a woman that Carly really had to try and put in her place. Well, why is she the truest black character that you've seen in soaps in a long time? She's just selfish and spoiled. Are you saying we're truly selfish and spoiled as people? I'm not sure what that means. Yes, we know you hate Jordan. We know you hate Jordan. Um, uh, it wouldn't surprise me if Brooke slept with Liam, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that story's already been done. Yes, Devon's little brother came back and he's got that mop top on his head. I just want to take a pair of clippers and fix it. And I can't even cut hair, but I know I could make it look better than that. It just looks like mm, mm, no. Let me see. See, I wasn't going to say it. I was being nice. I wasn't going to say it. That's why I stopped mid sentence. So I'll let Jakaria say it for me. That's why she's not coming back. Mm-hmm. uh, yeah, I'm glad somebody does because most of the comments I see is how they hate Zoe and love Paris. So I'm glad you like both. Yeah, they were really giving her the business about how she looked. Oh, it was fart powder. Okay, because I haven't seen Friday's episode because it was preempted, so I was waiting for it to come on Paramount Plus. But fart powder, I had saw someone in the comments say that it was a laxative, but that's just bad. Yeah, I see the comments about Katie McLean and pancakes, and yes, that's why they had the inside joke where Katie was the episode Katie was leaving, she turned down those pancakes. Well, I'll be on the lookout for this. I know she was in Boo Medea 1 and 2 as, the star, playing Tyler Perry's daughter. You may not recognize her because she had hair, black hair. Hmm. Well, I don't know how many black people they're going to put on the show, but actually, I would love for Sophia to come back. I only saw her at Neil's funeral, but because I wasn't watching Young and Restless back then, but uh, that would be a good throw in the mix for Nate. Well, that's part of the reason why I created my soap fam group on Facebook because um because I was in soap groups that were extremely toxic, doing things like what you're talking about, and also created my Twitter account where you get the unbiased news that way and opinions that way because um, some soap fans can be extremely toxic. And when actors like Ingo or Steve Burton, uh, Roddenmacher and Steve Burton do things that are clearly um, biased and prejudiced, fans defending them, I'm like, yeah, you can keep all that. It makes it hard to watch. It makes it very hard to watch them act because you know how they feel about you, especially being a black person in real life. Well, it could be John. It could be John, and some people are saying that Trip did it himself. I mean, not Trip, but Charlie did it himself. Maybe, they were fighting over it and it went off. I mean, Charlie definitely would have tried to get rid of Trip, so they could have been fighting over it. And then, like you said, John heard the shot. Ava arrived. It would all fall into place. and Trip could probably get off that it was an accident. Um. Oh. Okay. 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 I get you now. So yeah, I actually like Chanel's energy, and I like the fact that Chanel is a black spoiled, rich girl. Even though her mother cut her off, traveling the world, fine dining, her taste in alcohol, is $800 worth. so, so yeah, I like that about Chanel because normally we get a Trina, love the actress and the character, but that's what we normally get. We don't get black folks with money being rich and doing things. Look how they treat Devon. Devon might as well be broke, not a billionaire, the way he's written, you know. So most black folks, if you watch the channel long enough, you know that we call them the help because every time you see them, they put in positions where they're literally the help. The police officer, the doctor, the assistant, you know, they're just the help. They don't really have a whole lot of storylines for themselves. Nurses, doctors, they help all the other characters to their middle storylines. Look at Nate. All Nate is doing right now, helping Faith, you know, trying to help Ray. Where's his storyline? That's why we call him the help. Jordan on General Hospital. As soon as she became commissioner and not like a spy, I was like, oh, here we go. They did the same thing with Mac. And Anna. As soon as they get that job, police commissioner is like, oh, you're not getting any storylines. And then they treat the police commissioner like they're regular police. They be showing up on the scene like, you're the police commissioner. Why are you doing an investigation? You have officers for that. I didn't see in Batman, you don't see Commissioner Gordon running around trying to solve cases. you know. So thank you, Kathy. I'm gonna defend us because we deserve better than a lot of what they've given us. And that's why I actually like Ron because now he has, really started to put a focus on the black characters. And, he put a focus on the black characters, Latin characters, the minorities, of all types. I don't know why Sonny and Will were taken off the show, but I'm assuming that wasn't his decision. But now that we're back to Democrats in charge, sometimes that directly affects how some of these decisions are made. Thank you. Thank you. The facial hair is temporary. I decided not to get a haircut or anything this week um, because I actually don't grow facial hair evenly. The only reason why I started growing facial hair because I was a firefighter and I used to have my little peach fuzz I had since I was 12 years old. It never grew. And having to cut that peach fuzz off every single day, it started growing in. But if you can see the sides, like my goatee stops, like here, there's nothing here, and then you got here. So, so that's why I just cut it off because it doesn't give me that fullness. But my barber, next weekend, I'm getting this shaped up and cut, and this will be gone. Um, but thank you for the compliment. Now, here's the thing with General Hospital having so many black characters right now. They don't have 12. But how many of them being used? How many have storylines of their own? You can't say TJ because he only shows up every once in a while. They couldn't even give him a real marriage. They couldn't even have him be mad at Molly for more than like a week or two. Then he was back to being in love again. They didn't even try to play that storyline out. They didn't even give her the storyline played out with Brando. And then last week was like Trans Visibility Day. and the trans actress, I forgot her name, Terry or something like that. You know, she was on Twitter thanking General Hospital for their commitment to visibility of trans, commitment of trans stories being told. I'm like, when? When did General Hospital ever tell a trans story? They have a trans actress that they bring out once every 3, 4 months, maybe. She gets maybe a week worth of work or 2, 3 days, and then you don't see her again for 3 months or so, or nurses ball time. That's when they bring all the minorities back. But yeah, the problem with General Hospital is they're not using their minorities. This when's Curtis gonna find out Trina's his daughter? It's like what, 2 years now. Ever since the show came back from the hiatus they had to have, Trina lost her entire storyline. You know, Jordan and Curtis, they're so busy being a help that watching their marriage fall apart wasn't even interesting because they were rarely in scenes together. Curtis had more scenes with Jeannie Francis, Laura, than he did with his own wife that's on the show. Laura barely had any scenes with Kevin either. They just had her with Curtis. Then Curtis and Sam. So it's like, and now they're making him the help. Just like they gave Mac a bar, now Curtis is going to have a club. So what does that really do for Curtis other than be more the help? He's going to serve drinks. Like Mac used to do at his own bar, he's serving drinks. You know, so so, but and how long has Portia been on General Hospital with no storyline? I liked her in Passions, but have they really given her much to do other than be mad at Ava and tell Trina she loves her, but stop doing everything you're doing because it's wrong? Stella got 2 Emmys 2 years in a row, and she still didn't get a storyline. That guy who was probably going to turn out to be Curtis' father, they dropped that whole thing. Once Mike bit the dust, they didn't really care about the wife. They didn't even care about her towards the end of his downward spiral anyway. So when it comes to General Hospital and black characters, I mean, look how Epiphany had a whole relationship with Milo for about 10 years, and they got only screen time they ever got was once a year at the nurses' ball. She's been on this show for all these years. She ain't got an apartment. She ain't got no storyline. She ain't got no man. I liked when they put Terry, Epiphany, and Elizabeth in the scene together. Why don't we get more of that? Why don't we get more of them being friends? So this is why I love General Hospital, but the more I think about it, the more gripes I have about it, which is why I haven't seen it in a few days, about a week, you know. And I said I would play catch up on it, but I keep up with the spoilers. So I know what's going on, you know. But I'll binge watch it this weekend. The last show I watched was Nina seeing Sunny, so that's the last episode I saw. Let me see, did I miss something? Oh man, I didn't notice. I missed this message entirely. I'm glad you recovered from COVID. I know you and Jenny both shared that you had COVID. I had my friend's friend died from COVID about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are okay. So let me scream down. So so we got Patrick breaking it down for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's Phyllis? Who's Phyllis? Who's Phyllis? Oh, Phyllis and the person the bar. So, okay, Patrick, let's break this down. Epiphany is a recurring character that never has a storyline of her own. She's just a help that whenever somebody needs to come to the hospital or need a strong talking to, because she's the big black woman that, they're treating like Aunt Jemima. Uh, yeah, that's Epiphany. Felix is only brought out if they need a nurse randomly, bring in a nurse that the fans might be familiar with to give somebody usually a needle or an injection, and then he gets to take his shirt off at the nurse's ball. He has absolutely positively no story. They dropped him and his sister from the show, and yeah. So yeah, Felix is an extra. So I don't count him as a member of the show. Curtis, once again, Curtis has no storyline other than being doing stuff for people, being a private eye, trying to do investigations for people, hanging out with like I said, Laura more than his wife, and him and Jordan just kind of look at each other from across the room instead of actually having dialogue and really interacting with each other and talking to each other like a real husband and wife, or even have arguments like a real husband and wife. Do you really think that if Sam and Jason were falling apart, that we wouldn't have gotten the scenes that we were getting? They don't treat them like they're equals to the white characters. TJ, good lord. I'm so glad the other TJ is doing well and just had a baby with his co-star from that one that show Boomerang. But yeah, TJ, he's like, the doctor character that they kind of bring in. They had him beat up once. You don't get to see his life with Molly. They don't have a place. They don't really do anything. She's more likely to be visiting her sisters or something. You know, they almost had a storyline, and that was nothing. He didn't even get the right to be mad. Taggart, even when they had the Taggart replacement temporarily for whatever happened to Taggart that they never told us about. Yeah, Taggart. What's his storyline? Being mad at um, being mad at Cyrus. How deep are they going to get with the Taggart and Jordan and Curtis triangle with Portia quadrangle? I'm waiting to see if that pop off. So he's still reoccurring. He's not a contract player to my knowledge. Then we've got Jordan. They haven't really given Jordan a good storyline since they changed actresses. Portia, I already complained about Portia like 15 minutes ago, and Trina. Elijah and Phyllis, what are they? They're the help. They're helping Sunny. They're helping Nina. Do we get any intimate moments with Elijah and Phyllis? Do we get deep into their relationship? You know, Sunny has more to do with people trying to take over that bar, and him being a hero, trying to stop it and playing cards and whatnot. So Elijah couldn't do something. Elijah couldn't have been at the card game. He couldn't have worked with Sunny together at the card game to make the money up together. They couldn't have included him in his own storyline. Not what little of it is there. So they're supporting players for Sonny while he's Mike. What do you think is going to happen when Sonny gets his memories back? And they're in a whole nother city. Then we have Sean coming back. So as I already said, we got Sean, Taggart, and Curtis. I have a feeling one of them going to go. I'll I'll be shocked if they really have three those three really doing something for a long period of time. So I have no faith in them. So while they do have 12 black characters on GH, most of them aren't doing anything but being a help. And I don't count that. So I'm getting on my soapbox because I know I'm way behind in the comments again. So And I would love to know what Jenny think about and Jakari's think about what I just said because I know you're big General Hospital fans. Kathy, exactly. They do it for the GLAAD Awards, and yeah, yeah, I agree with Maya. It didn't end very well. Um, are we really gonna pretend like Valerie is a character on the show and not an extra? I was on Twitter where General Hospital was congratulating her for her 1 year anniversary being on General Hospital, and she only probably had been in 6 episodes total, and there's 365 days in a year, and 200 something of them are soap opera days, and she was probably in about 6 episodes. I'm so mad they had that actress cut her hair off um, to be Valerie, and then they didn't follow through with the storyline where her being a lesbian with Sunny Daughter. Um, um, I don't know. I never heard anything about Lauren buying Jabot. I don't even think she could afford to buy Jabot. Um, I feel like the most conservative soap is Young and the Restless. I think it's Young and the Restless as far as like the way they treat their minority characters. So you really want to count Blue Moon characters? Can I get somebody who's on a contract that actually has a storyline and they call them characters? Are you considering Amy as a regular cast member? You consider Bobby a regular cast member? Consider Lucy a regular cast member? They forget for whole months that they even exist till nurses ball time or Carly needs her mother. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Some people act like COVID ain't real. I'm like, it's real. You know. Yeah, I can. I see Amy May's comment. I can't get a vaccination until April 28th when they open up to everybody. I ain't got none of them symptoms that let you get it now. So we will see. But all of my clients have been vaccinated from my other business. No, Kathy. We're all leaning towards flow. Hopefully, if you follow, I follow. I can't remember which one I follow. I either follow him or her, and I think Laura Wright tweet was so excited to finally have scenes with my baby. She has said something like that online on Twitter, and I think he retweeted it. So I'm following one of them. I think I'm following her, and so yeah, they're still together. She was happy to finally have scenes with a man. Absolutely. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. Thank you. I did have a brain freeze. I said it starts with a. Well, I spell it with a K. I was like, I know her name starts with a K. It's Molly and Christina. Thank you, Feijin. Um, yes, they're treated like tokens, and that's what I'm trying to say. You can have 50 black people on the show, but if they're treated like tokens, are they really on the show? They're not actively part of it. That's what um, the actress Victoria Rao was saying. You know, you got to be an active participant on the show. You got to actually have storylines. You can't just be there. You know, isn't it's a false. It gives you a false sense of diversity, like the trans visibility. Saying they have trans visibility on General Hospital, they don't even mention that the character is trans. They rarely bring it up, and when they do, it's like, um, um, I think we, okay, they know enough. You know, she has not had one date, one kiss, one flirting scene. She has been the doctor, like this with her folder in in her arm, giving a diagnosis, and she's not even a regular doctor. Yeah, Days of Our Lives has been up and down with the stories. Eli and Lonnie typically have a story. Abe kind of sort of has a story. Ever since him and Valerie did break, Abe hasn't had a good storyline since he stopped being mayor, and when he became mayor again, it was like they didn't know what to do with him. Then they kind of put him with Kate. Didn't go anywhere. Now they're trying to put Kate with Roman. Okay. Okay, okay. You're not gonna leash the beast on YouTube. Well, they fired Sharon Osbourne, so they're probably just gonna replace her and keep it going. The problem is the talk is very cheap to make versus a soap opera where you need all of these people, not just the actors but the crew. You know, the sets, the writers. There's so much that goes into creating a soap, which makes them expensive to make. I would love for them to do maybe 2 half-hour soaps, which might be easier to do. Um, like if they brought back a Guiding Light or Passions or My Children One Life to Live in a half-hour format, I would even accept that. I know we're getting a prime time on My Children in Pine Valley. Fingers crossed that that works because if that's a success, then they're going to try to do it with other soaps. Um, but I would love for them to even start a brand new soap and bring some old favorites on to be new characters. That would be good too. I'm glad that you're better. I'm so glad that everyone here that's been affected by the epidemic has made it, safely to the other side. And eventually, hopefully, uh, we can all get the vaccine as is readily available. Ramona, I'm glad you was able to get yours yesterday. I know in different cities and states, some people are getting it early, some people are getting late, some people are lying to get it early. And I was going to lie to get early. I was going to get lie. But then I saw the part where it said about perjury, and I said, I'll wait. I'm not going to lie. They probably come back and start, you know, trying to figure out, who lied. And I don't know. It's not worth lying. I'll wait my turn. Hey, Patricia. Well, I'm glad that Baltimore and Maryland County, Baltimore County, still have face masks. I have mine on every day. Sometimes I wear my gloves, sometimes I don't, but I've got hand sanitizer everywhere. So yeah, and I keep gloves in the car and face shield. And that's another problem. There's got to be a good balancing act between vets and new characters because you need the new characters and the younger cast to keep the show fresh and new and to be able to do those like action storylines and different things and still be able to have a mature cast doing different types of storylines that balance everything out. But not every writer knows how to do that. Um, None of them. That's why it was so easy for me to stop watching for a week. I'll try to get back into it. I feel like May Sweeps General Hospital is going to be hot again, but right now I just feel like it's coasting, just waiting to get to May Sweeps, where I think something might happen to Peter. Um, this week, like I said, I didn't watch General Hospital, so the one I watched the most was Young and the Restless. Actually, that's the one I watched all 5 days. Um, I watched all 5 days of Bold and Beautiful, but it was an okay week. They're coasting to this Monday when somebody gets bumped off. Remember, we're a day behind, so the person gets bumped off on Monday's episode. Remember, that was supposed to be a Friday episode, so that's why it's happening on Monday and not Friday. Um, but I would say Young and Restless, then Days of Our Lives, then Bold and Beautiful, because only days I missed was the April Fool's Day. I'm really tired of seeing Sierra because I know she's leaving the show. So I'm like, just pull a band-aid off, you know. Um, I miss Passions too. I wish they had kept that show on. It was her decision to leave, so hopefully it'll be her decision to come back. Um, I think the best writing team would be Days of Our Lives. I understand why they did win. Um, Second would be General Hospital. Third would be Young and the Restless, and fourth would be Bold and Beautiful. That would be my order of shows. No news about Sarah. All we know is she's gone. Um, can you explain why Bone Movie Younger Sister Disney and General Hospital never really did after they came back at the break? This is what they do. They're taking different precautions. Bold and Beautiful Young and the Restless are following the guidelines to the T. And they're both CBS shows. And the thing is, if anything happens to any of these actors or any of the crew, they can be sued. or they may become responsible for their medical bills. So there's a lot of things that can happen, or one of their major stars can get sick. So Young and Restless and Bold and Beautiful are doing what they're supposed to do, only letting the actors that are actually dating touch or being in close proximity to one another. General Hospital quarantines their actors on the set, so they give them the test, and then they check them, and once they come back clean, they make them sit in their cars. They don't let them rehearse Days of Lives, the same thing. They'll let them rehearse or anything, and then they can only do a quick rehearsal just before they're about to film. So they keep them separated the whole time once they find out that they're clean, and then they let them interact, but they don't let them do let's say kissing, you know, things like that. Well, I take that back because they do kiss on Days of Our Lives. Um, Now, technically, if they've been tested and they've quarantined them until their scenes are ready to be filmed, um, they're all fine. But I feel like CBS is um, taking it serious the most. It's as simple as that. It's the same way why you have businesses open in places like Atlanta, and they have crowds and the numbers are skyrocketing in those areas. And then you have other areas where the numbers are coming down, like Baltimore, where they keep all these things enforced. And it all comes down to greed when it comes to cities and their decisions of whether or not they're distancing and things like that. It's all about the economy, not people's health. So, um, Passions from beginning to end kept black characters in the mix, and they didn't have them as tokens. They had some good black storylines on Passions. Um, uh, I actually want some new blood when it comes to soaps. I think one of the things that soaps are missing is that they in the past, soaps were modern for their time. And as things changed, they changed along with everybody else. The types of stories they told changed. They took a lot of risks with different stories. Um, there's a more conservative approach because so many soaps are always teetering on the verge of getting canceled that there's a fear that doesn't allow them to take as many risks, but also think they need new writers, fresh blood, because rather than creating new stories, we get the same triangles. I mean, good lord, if they put Steffi and Liam back one more time, why? Why? So I'm just saying, they need new writers, they need fresh blood, and there's so many of us out here that are writers that could still pay homage to the original types of storytelling that make soaps great, but also modernize it to things we talk about and care about now. So sometimes watching shows like Young and the Restless, depending on who's making it, it's like a time warp. Even the way the characters talk is like they're speaking like it's 20 years ago. It's not 20 years ago. Catch up with the rest of the planet, please. Mm. Feels like an April Fool's joke, but I'll look into this. I need to see that TikTok so I can see it comes straight from her. Yeah, and I think this is even a storyline that could work now. You know, you have the right to say no whether you're married or not. Far as I know, Sierra is not getting recast. Mhm. Yeah, Sierra's going to be with her mother until they said the next time Sierra's supposed to come back is in the summer. So, far as I know, Victoria's coming back for another maybe 16 episodes again. But who knows? By then, maybe they'll finally have been paired up with Claire or somebody. Well, Trip and Allie are going to be in a love triangle. I just don't know who the third guy is. I think that Allie should be chasing Trip. Trip shouldn't be chasing Allie. But since there's going to be two guys in a triangle, Trip is going to have to chase Allie after everything Allie did. You know, even though she didn't know it wasn't him. I think that Allie is in a position where she should be the one who's pursuing Trip. Yes, as far as every site has said so far, he's coming back. So, and that's it. I think we've answered pretty much most of the questions. Um, um, and I really appreciate you, especially with my early technical difficulties with the sound. So I want to thank everybody for coming on board, and spending this time with me. See you next week. I always say 2 o'clock, but it seems like 3 o'clock is the real time. So thanks for watching, and once again, thank you for talking with me and sharing this time with me. I appreciate everyone. Please be safe, and if you can get the vaccine, get the vaccine. Thanks for watching.